Hello and welcome to Lessons for Worship. My name is David, and today I'm going to be going over the song How Deep the Father's Love for Us by Austin Stone Worship, the rhythm electric guitar parts. So this song is in the key of G and the BPM is 110. So before we get into the actual parts, let's take a look at the effects we'll be using today. At first, in my single chain, I have a subtle compression on the entire time, just to give it a little extra sustain. So with the compression on, it should sound something like this. Okay, next I have a overdrive. It's a low gain overdrive, just want to get it to punch through a little bit more in the song, and this is going to be turned on the entire song as well. So this is again my clean tone, and this is the first stage of overdrive enabled. Okay, next let's talk about the delay. I have a quarter note analog delay turned on. The mix is around 30%, but a decent amount of feedback, so you're looking to have about 7 to 8 repeats for your delay. So with that turned on, it should sound something like this. Okay, and finally I have a reverb. And by the way, the delay and the reverb is going to be turned on the entire song as well, so you don't have to do any tap dancing in this song. For the reverb, I have actually a hall reverb. If you have like a modulated room reverb, that'll work really well here too. The decay is around 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds, kind of short, but it should sound something like this. Okay, so with all my effects turned on together, we should have this type of tone. All right. Now, the time signature in this song is 6/4, and for the rhythm guitar, you're going to be sitting out until the first interlude. And for really the first half of the song, you're going to be on your neck pickup, and once we get to the second half of the song, you're going to be on your bridge pickup for the rest of the time. So starting on your neck pickup, you're going to come in the first interlude and you're going to play these parts that I just played. So starting with E minor, you're going to be up here on the 7th fret. So what I like to do is to have my index finger on the 7th fret of the high E string, my middle finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and then I'm using my ring finger and my pinky finger to cover the 9th fret on the D and the G string. So this E minor chord. And then you're going to go and make a D chord with, what I like to do is just bar the D, G, and B string. And so you're making this D shape right here. And then you're coming down here to play a G chord. All right, so the interlude, you're going to play this 2 times through. Okay, and that's the interlude. Now going into the second verse, you have kind of this picking part. So we're making simple chord shapes, just kind of these cowboy chord shapes. And let me play through that first, and then we'll break it down. Okay, so let's break this down real quick. It's really just a simple picking part, making these different chord shapes and picking through 3 notes per bar. And so as you notice, starting in the first part of the verse, I'm just making a quick diamond, just a G, and then I'm going to that picking part. So if you're familiar with the natural number system, you're playing the 1, which is that G, then you're going to that C chord, which is the 4, you're going back to the 1, and then to the 5, which is that D. So you're playing 1, 4, 1, 5 twice, and then you're going 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, and you're finishing up, and then going to the interlude. All right. So what I like to do again is just kind of start off beginning the verse there, and then you're going to that C, and back to the G, and then to the D, back to the G, so that 1, to the C, and back to the G. And that's kind of your halfway mark there. And then you're going to go to an E minor. So it's really an E minor 7 here, but you're just picking this part. So back to the C, so that's the 4, to the 1. So you can see there they're playing diamonds to emphasize certain parts of the verse. But then you're just going back to that picking part, back to the E minor, to the C, to the G, you're playing that D, and then you're going to go to the interlude. So when you're going back to the interlude the second time around, you're actually going to play that progression 4 times because there's a tag. So okay, so that is the second interlude. Now once you get into the third verse, there's a down verse here. So you're going to be sitting out for a few bars. And then the vocalist is going to say, I will not boast in anything, no gifts, no power, or wisdom. And on the last part of that word, you're going to come in here strong on the 5 or that D note. And you're going to play diamonds here, and you're going to build up. So back to the 1, to the 4, to the 1, the 5, and then you're going to play quarter notes. So you're building big there. But after that, you're going to go back, and it's kind of like the second half of the verse there. So you're going to be playing the 6 or the E minor. So you're going back to diamonds. That's the E minor, to the 4, and back to the 1, and then to the 5. Then you're going to play that again, to the 4, to the 1, to the 5, and then there's a tag, so you're playing that 1 again. Back to the 6, to the 4, to the 1, to the 5, and I'm going to end on that E minor or that 6, and you're going to let that ring out. Now what I like to do here, I actually have a swell setting. So what this does is it enables a few extra reverbs and delays. And so what I like to do at this very last note, once I play that, is just to enable that swell setting. So I'm going to let this ring out. Turn that on, and it's going to just drift for a few more bars as the song finishes up. Okay, and that's the lesson for today. Thank you so much. If you really enjoyed this lesson, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing so you don't miss my next lesson. And if you have a Line 6 Helix, check the description down below. I have a Helix preset for this song. And if you want to save time dialing in your tone, you can download that. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.